The Worldwide Fund for Nature South Africa have partnered with Cape Town-based artist Irene Oxley to develop a range of sustainably produced kidswear range called the Rinki Collection that features a whimsical collection of creatures including the rhino, available on her merchandise. Now, this in an effort to raise funds for the vital conservation work ahead of World Rhino Day that is set to take place on the 22nd of September. Irene is joining us from our Cape Town studio to tell us more about these initiative and partnership. A very good morning to you, Irene. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, talk us through this partnership between WWF South Africa and yourself. How did it come about?
Well, I've always been a great supporter of wildlife, and my Rinki creatures just kind of jumped out of my ink pot. And once I started painting them, I thought, you know what? It'd be really nice to give back. How can I give back? And I just approached the Cape Town WWF, that's SA, for nature. And they loved them, they fell in love with them. And I said, look, I would like to be able to sell this merchandise and give a portion back to World Wildlife so that I can help nature conservation. And that's kind of how it came about. Everyone just fell in love with the characters.
You know, Irene, rhinos are an incredibly endangered species, and we see rhinos being killed almost on a daily basis, and slowly they're being wiped off the face of the earth. So the kind of work that you do, how does that help contribute to the conservation of rhinos?
Well, everything that World Wildlife does, I obviously don't work for World Wildlife, I'm the artist, but everything that they do is sustainable. So everything they try to do with the future is to actually give back, to use sustainable, eco-friendly, whatever anyone purchases from the organization, that goes back. All the funds go back. So every time they do some kind of fundraising event, those funds go back into protecting our creatures. A strange thing this morning, I was chatting to someone and we said, it's very, very strange that we actually are employing humans to look after the animals, to protect them from the humans. I mean, it just seems ironic that we're doing that, but we are. And everything they do is to protect our animals so that our children in the future have actually they can see the animals. We don't want to go to a zoo, not that there's anything wrong with zoos, but you know, you rather would want to go and see them out in the bush, to see them where they belong. And that's what WWF is trying to do. And my little bit is just to bring a gentler look. As you can see, this is Reno the rhino. Mm-hmm. And he is the little rhino that they're using at the moment. So it's a more gentler way of saying, let's raise funds, let's actually give back. Let's give back to nature, so we've got it for the future.
Right. And of all the products that you create, I understand that you use local fabric and non-toxic dyes. Take us through some of the pieces that you create, how they were made, and what material you used.
Everything has to be 100% cotton. And all the inks used are water soluble, so they're eco-friendly. So what I did was I approached several factories, CMT factories, print companies, and asked them, what ink do you use? Is it eco-friendly? And most of them didn't know what I was talking about. But we eventually did find an eco-friendly printer. And we have from Johannesburg, we have all the garments, the cotton is made up there and dyed up there. And so what we try to do also is to use the community. So rather than, we could go overseas and probably get it at a fraction of the cost, but we don't. We prefer to use whatever we have here in South Africa and to try and support smaller communities, to job creation, that kind of thing. But yeah, everything is eco-friendly. Even I do snap cards and I do jigsaw puzzles, and everything down to the card that we use and the inks that are used there, and even the glue that we use to glue the jigsaw puzzles together. That is all eco-friendly.
Okay. And I understand that one of your paintings was auctioned for a whopping 100,000 rand towards the saving of rhinos. And I suppose this will echo the calls to conserve rhinos even louder.
It is. You know, that was actually part of an auction. I wish that my particular painting had raised over 100,000, but it was a portion of it. And it went off to California, which was really exciting for me. But the event itself was a very lively event, and quite a bit of money was, as we said, raised for that cause. And I was just so overjoyed to be a part of it.
Now, World Rhino Day is coming up this week, Irene, and what do ordinary people, or what should ordinary people do towards saving rhinos?
I think that the best thing at the moment for the rhinos is the fundraising, which is to go online onto www.org and check out the merchandise there. You can purchase, and that will go directly to WWF. If you purchase from myself, a portion goes to WWF. And whatever fundraising they're doing, you can just basically donate. You don't have to buy anything, you can just donate. But I think that it's a wonderful cause. It is just one day that they're taking to really make a noise about it, but it's something that's continually going on. It's something that we need to look at. Rhinos today, there's a Marine Day coming next month. We have to look at the whole of nature. It's a life circle. It's something that we've got to sustain for the future. The rhinos, as we said, are very important, but so are our giraffes, our lions, our marine life. Everything that goes into it is something that we have to look to for the future.
And I suppose we should, tell people to stop buying rhino horn products.
Well, the thing is that it's the overseas market that believes it's got some muti in it, which it hasn't. It's absolute rubbish. We all know that here. I always say it's a great marketing job overseas, that they've got these people believing that it can have some health benefits. They don't. It's like your fingernails. We know that here in South Africa. But unfortunately, it's trying to get to the people overseas to try and stop them purchasing, to try. WWF has got offices in most of the countries, and they are working on trying to diffuse that and just say, you know what, there is nothing in this. But it's been there for a long time, so it's going to take a little bit more time to break it down.
All right, Irene, we thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Absolute pleasure.
All right, that was artist Irene Oxley joining us from our Cape Town studios to talk to us about her partnership with the WWFSA to create awareness and raise funds to save rhinos.